We are small but very nice computer science department. And in the following half hour, so I will present you our study, what was the idea and what's the content, and hopefully you have some questions. Okay, let's start with the question, actually, why this study? What do you think, why does a university, which is actually not famous for technique, but for business, why a famous business university decides to provide a computer science study? What do you think? So if nothing comes to mind, I tell you my story. My opinion is this, because the reason is that the role of computer science in companies has changed. 20 years ago, it used to be a service for the company, but now computer science became the product. Think on Twitter and Facebook and Google and so on and so forth. And not only a product, also the role of the computer scientist itself has changed. Because when you look at those companies, the CEO has a computer science background. And that was the reason why, with this whole changing of the role, what computer science mean, and changing of the role of the computer scientist, it all of a sudden made a lot of sense that a university like St.Gallen said, oh yeah, that's something we need to embrace. We embrace technique and we offer now computer science. And that's actually also our unique selling point, that we offer computer science, a technical study, but in the context of a business university, which what we call HSG DNA. So we offer you a computer science study, but with an entrepreneurial orientation. So you will have a competence portfolio in technology, but also in business, which means that you will learn computer science into depth. So people should be able to build the next Google or the next Twitter, to build their own platform or to build their next AI platform, but at the same time, to be on eye level with the BVL, with the MBA people in the company, or found to have their own company. And since we are the university, it's not only about being able to program, but also to acquire knowledge that goes beyond programming, so that you learn the development of the systems and the method and processes of computer science in the context of a university. While at the same time, you learn all the tools of the trade. So the computer science part, actually, we have implemented as with an engineering view. So it's we really want you guys to know how to do things and how to develop and implement and so on. And since we were able to set up computer science in the green field, we could actually fill it with cutting edge topics. So we can do big data, we can do big AI, we can do AI, we can do HCI, which is human computer interaction, which normally is not taught in a German speaking country, but usually in the US, but we offer it to you as well, and system and software engineering. So this is the full package of our master in computer science, with the promise that you learn in entrepreneurial orientation, strategical thinking, but also technically, you can develop a technology, you will understand the business model of the technology, and you will learn concepts on how to sell it. So the full package, actually. So here in summary is we offer you a unique combination of computer science with entrepreneurship, business innovation, and leadership, while at the same time, you don't only talk about technology, but you have a solid competence about technology and application. What is more, you also see it here in this setting. We have small classes. Usually our master classes are around 25, 30 people. So it's not a mass university like Munich, where you have 1,000 people starting together, which also means for you, you have close mentoring through the professors. We have open door policies. You can come to us, you get our advice. You can even work for us. Our chairs offer positions as research assistants. So in very close contact with the faculty. And since we are brand new, you have access to cutting edge technologies in terms of labs, modern roboter, modern supercomputers. And everything has the setting in the HSG in a vibrant campus. For those of you, who of you is from HSG? Is somebody from the university already? You are. So you certainly know that is probably the most proactive students I ever met. So the students here are very engaged. They have a lot of clubs. I think we have over 140 clubs. So it's a unique campus culture as well, which you can embrace while studying here. So what's the profile? What do we expect from you? Well, you should have an academic background undergraduate or early graduate in computer science or in a related subject. Andreas will later mention more about admission. Then you should be interested in specializing of one of our two core areas. We offer a specialization in data science or one in software and system engineering, but you can also do mix and match. You can choose the classes of both which you like the most. And obviously in the HSG context, you should have a desire to acquire skills from the entrepreneurial field. So you should like business as well. That's the idea. What's the content of the study? Well, as you see, we have some compulsory classes. That's one we are beginning with. We have some specialization classes which you can choose. We have, and this is a substantial part in our master project, where you work as a team, because teamwork and software engineering teams is very important in computer science. We have a thesis like in any other study, but computer science, usually you have the document which you write. At the same time, you do a proof of concept, so you also develop some software. And we have, which is very unique to the university here, area contextual studies, where you can learn additional skills like a language or rhetorical techniques. And we have areas of concentration where you can open your mind in fields like legal or social or ethics, in addition to the technical content. Right. So any questions so far?
Yes, I currently I'm enrolled in a bachelor's degree at the ZHW in Wirtschaftsinformatik, IT
Yes.
for business.
Yes.
Would that be considered a close field of study?
It's considered close, but since you're from a Fachhochschule, you will have to do a test.
Yeah, that would be the written and oral
test, exactly.
I read about it on the.
Which, to best of my knowledge, somebody with a technical background has never failed.
Okay.
So if you had enough, well, you have of course learned a bit of theoretical computer science, which you probably did not have in your study, but it's well covered in the books.
Okay, so there will be training material.
Yes, training material, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, and as you just mentioned, it's a good opportunity actually also for Fachhochschüler to graduate with a university degree. Okay, so let's dive in a bit more in the classes itself. Compulsory, that means in the first semester everybody has to do it, is cybersecurity, very hot topic. Human-computer interaction, also a cool topic. Data science in the context of AI, very important. And as I said, the engineering aspect is well covered with advanced software and system engineering. Everybody has to do that. And later you can choose. You can choose if you want to go more towards data science and you do a bit more machine learning or NLP, or you say you like more the software engineering parts and you do web-based systems or modern web architecture or software assessment. At the same time, you learn management and entrepreneurship classes about business model design, about leadership, about entrepreneurship. And when you think about the master project, as I said, master project is in a team, complete software development lifecycle, specification, implementation, evaluation. Might be done depending on the professor, together with another department at a university, or with a company, or very research related. It's a market, so you can choose your topic. Master thesis I mentioned, and in contextual studies, you can do stuff like digital business ethics, robots and the end of the work. That sounds exciting. Game theory and decision theory, or negotiation and conflict management. That's up to you. This is all classes you can choose, right? How could you study? You could, as I said, you could study in 4 semesters. You don't have to. You can stretch. Some people, we have people from the HSG coming with economic background that might need more time to learn engineering classes. But Andreas will mention later, I think you can stretch up to 8 or 9 semesters. But if you want to be very quick, you would take in the first semester the master-based modules, a bit management on the side. In the second, you go towards your specialization. In the third one, you would do the project, and in the fourth, you do your master thesis, right? Any questions there? No.
Yeah, quick question. Would it be possible to also work besides
You can do that. A lot of students do. Some work at chairs as research assistants. Some work in companies. I think combining it with a chair is easier. It's much more compatible to your study. Work in companies is also possible, but that clearly will stretch your study time. I think we can say that from experience. But from our side, it's not forbidden. It's a university study. So normally you don't have, you don't need to attend a class, with the exception the professor told you so, or he's doing marks and so on. So you have flexibility, yes. And we even have students who are choosing classes which are not in the curriculum. So I mentioned before, employee likes people who go the extra mile. And I have one student at the moment who did some financial studies, for example. And he just gets a certificate from the professor for that. Then here's a question from Kadir. Is there time limit to complete this study? Andreas, you need to switch on your microphone.
Yeah, right. There is, so you have a maximum of 8 semesters to complete your studies entirely. Otherwise, you fail to try, and you can try again with another 8 semesters. But I wouldn't recommend you to do that. But you can go from 4 semesters to 8 semesters if you need to.
Yeah, so working 100% in a company, I would not recommend.
No.
That sounds hard to do. Okay, and then I mentioned, as before, all our chairs, all our professors are heavy on the research side, which you usually will see within the project or the master thesis. And given that, I would like to give you a brief overview. It's not complete and maybe not even up to date, but just that to get a feeling what kind of research projects we do. So we do also project with local companies. It's HSG after all. So we do industry research, but we also do funded, applied, and fundamental research on a national or international level, like SNF, Switzerland, or European Union. And there we have a broad range of research topics. I do research on chatbots, for example. The colleagues do research on explainable AI. Also, another language related one is speech to text or text to speech. For example, translating spoken Swiss German into High German. Research on software agent and robots, distributed systems, process mining, neuroadaptive software systems, HCI projects, cryptography projects. You name it, we might do a research on that. I've just for an example, it's not a complete list that you get a feeling what we do. A colleague of mine, Barbara Weber, for example, who is a professor on software systems programming and development, is indeed doing study on biofeedback. So you see this mask where your brain activity will be monitored while doing programming, and she's using that to improving the programming experience or the IDA, or see how much is actually the state of a person related to the quality of the software. So that's quite interesting, exciting. I personally do a lot in the language area, speech analysis, text analysis, information extraction. Very hot topic at the moment are this question answering or chatbot systems, but we also do text generation. You might know these large language models, GPT-3 or something like that. So we investigate them a lot. Or Damian, the professor for AI, he's going in the opposite direction. He's doing text to speech. So he's basically generating an artificial voice, or actually a remodeled voice towards an existing person, so that, for example, in a newspaper, the article of the newspaper can be read to you in the voice of the journalist, which is also pretty cool. Okay, also that's just very small snippets of potential research, and master, obviously, if you like it, your work as a research assistant or your projects can be connected to that. Typically, our current students like that a lot. So what's our value proposition? We are one of the best business universities in Europe, but we offer no technical study. It's also the first Master of Science at HSG. Every other master is Science of Art, Master of Art. So which is pretty cool in itself. So it's very novel. Then you get computer science with broad and depth knowledge. As I mentioned, you connected to top research and practice, and that's of course what we professors want to achieve on ourselves. highly qualified professors with excellent teaching. That's what we promise you. So a modern, future-oriented computer science study, but with HSG DNA, with this entrepreneurship business edge, top faculty, top courses, and top program. That's our value proposition. Okay. So if you would have studied with us, what can you do? What do we envision what you would do with that? Well, you can found your own company. You could become the next Elon Musk or Google founder, technology entrepreneur, or an executive in an information technology related function. Or you have an important position within a large company, for example, as an expert or key member of an innovation team in a company. Or you say, I like actually the software engineering part so much, that's what I really want to do. Then obviously the path is open for you to develop software projects and meet the needs of your customers. Or what a lot of HSG people actually do is you work in a consulting company, but you have the unique advantage that you actually on eye level on the business part as well on the technological part, which makes you very valuable for consulting. Or you say you like working at our chair so much that you want to stay and do a PhD. So there's a lot of possibilities, especially when you consider that as we speak, there are 30,000 open positions in computer science in Switzerland on all levels, right? From leadership level to development. So a job is guaranteed. And as I mentioned before, HSG in its unique environment, we have a lot of alumni, which are successful entrepreneurs themselves, and they usually look for opportunities to fund the next great idea. So probably this is one of the universities where it's the easiest for you to get startup funding. So incredible good job opportunities, very exciting university. That's would be the prospect. So for admission, I hand over to Andreas and he can tell you 1 or 2 words more about admission.
Thank you very much. Admission, or let's talk about the master program in computer science in general. Could give me the next slide, please?
Yes.
Thank you. You heard about the degree, Master of Science, that you can get here. You usually do this in a 2 years time span, but you can, as we already mentioned, prolong it to 4 years or 8 semesters. The course or the program itself has 120 ECTS, which is quite much for the HSG, but in comparing to other computer science programs, it's quite normal to see this. The application windows is already open. You can apply until the 30th of April 2023. And the program then starts in autumn semester. We usually start 2 weeks before the semester actually begins with an integration week, where the new students get to know each other, they get in touch with faculty, they get to know or get first insights into the main topics of their studies. And on Saturday of that week, we usually do quite a nice hike into the mountains together. The program language is English. This means all lectures, all courses, except for the contextual studies, where you can also select German-speaking courses. But computer science courses are in English. The faculty, nevertheless, usually speaks German or partly speaks German, so you don't have to speak in English all the time if you don't want to. You can find further information about our program and also student testimonials on our website, mcs.unisg.ch, or you can just scan the QR code that you find on the bottom right. Can you give me the next slide, please? Thanks. Regarding the admission, Siegfried already mentioned a lot, or quite a lot of it. To recap, one way is to get admitted if you have a university bachelor's degree in a major in computer science or similar. So what does this mean, similar? This means that you have had or have taken quite amount of courses in computer science or really closely related, for instance, maths. Then it will be acknowledged as similar. You can find the detailed information about how many ECTS in which field you have to have taken if you visit the admission website of our program on the bottom right, you have the QR code to go there. The other way is by taking the admission exam. For instance, if you come from a university and you hold a bachelor degree in a partly similar topic to computer science, again, here you find information about what this means on the admission website. Then we have the second path, applicants from a University of Applied Sciences, so Fachhochschule, with a degree in computer science or really closely related again. So the similarity, for instance, in Wirtschaftsinformatik, this usually is quite similar. And then third possibility is for people who hold a degree, be it bachelor or master of HSG, they have the chance to also prove their knowledge in computer science by taking the admission exam and potentially entering our program. Regarding the admission exam itself, as Siegfried already said, it's 2 books. You find the details again on the admission website. Both books are available online. One is a PDF, the other one is a website-like structure that you can read from, and it contains basic information and models about computer networking as well as computer science. So this actually is the basic knowledge that you must provide if you want to enter the program. There's also a part understanding program codes. You can select for, between Java or Python, whatever you want. You can say in which language you want to take the exam. Yeah, that's about it regarding the admission exam. There's a written part, and then after you pass the written part, you get to take the oral part with one of our faculty members. Could you give me the next slide, please?
Yeah, Kadir had a question here. He said, in case we must take an exam in order to admit, no, I would say. Exam is after. No, to admit that's the exam you mentioned, right?
Yeah, probably.
Does this answer your question, Kadir?
I don't quite get the question.
Yes,
okay.
Sir. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right.
Good. Next one.
Yes, please.
Yeah, sorry.
We have 2 open days coming up. One is on the 25th already of November. The other one is in March. At these open days, you will get the chance to attend such a presentation as you do today, plus some additional information about studying at HSG. But I think the most intriguing parts are during noon and in the afternoon, where you have the chance to talk to students, talk to faculty of ours. You can visit the booth before noon, where you can get a glimpse of what HSG has to can offer you, and also what potential job prospects you have, especially in the region. And then in the afternoon, we have lab tours, we have sample lectures, where again, you can get really hands-on impressions about what it is like to study at the MCS. So if you're interested, you find further information either on our website, Start MCS. You can scan the left QR code, or you can directly register for the open day and select the elements of the day that interest you most by scanning the QR code on the right. Next slide, please. Do you have any questions so far? Or any further questions?
No.
From side. If I come from the University of Applied Sciences, ZHW, and take the admission test, and let's assume that I take it successfully, will there be any like additional credits that I would have to cover to get admission, or is the test really the only thing I need to pass? Because if I look at other master degrees, usually there are some modules that you need to complete in addition.
Yes, that's called the Master Vorbereitungsstufe. We don't have this. We have the admission exam instead.
Okay,
But on a longer term, this might be the case that we will also have this Master Vorbereitungsstufe instead of the admission exam, but this will be in quite some years' time.
So it's a good opportunity if you come from Fachhochschule to take that master, to get a university degree.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Thank you.
We have another question from Kadir. Says, how many percentage of working do you recommend? You said 100% of working should not be recommended. Actually, you can stretch your studies by double. So if you do the maths, you get to 50%, 60% employment. If you are ready to also work on the weekends, you might even get to do a bit more. Just be aware that you will be doing a lot of projects with other students. And if you're always off to work during the day, it's really difficult to have group meetings and collaboration sessions with them. And also our lectures take place during the day and are not recorded. So you would have to somehow arrange to be here during the day, or mostly during the day. So it's really a challenge. The easiest thing probably is working at an institute of ours or at a chair of ours, because they are really flexible with regards to the working times and also have the understanding for you being available sometimes and sometimes not being available due to your studies. You can send me an email and we can settle another discussion or chat if you want to discuss this further. Generally, this would be an invitation to all of you. If you want, you can send me your email addresses through the chat. And I will send you the presentation slides and also offer you the opportunity to have another talk if you want.
Good. So, as mentioned, Andreas, we are also after this presentation open for you to get in contact. You can send an email, mcs@uni.sg. You can visit our website, have a look at information there. You can give us a phone call. I think that's the number of Andreas. You can directly get in contact with Andreas. Andreas is the administrative director of the master, so he should be able to answer any admission and so on related question. And also we have now a lot of experience collected with our running classes for a lot of live situations to support you there. I'm the academic director of the MCS, which means you can also address me, but my content is more related to the architecture of the study. In any case, feel free to ask more questions. I would be very happy if we were able to welcome you to our Master in Computer Science. Thank you. But now it's opportunity for you to ask more questions directly or contact us later. Okay. Yeah, yes.
Is there like an upper limit where you say that you have can only take so much students? So
our upper limit is far away. So
okay.
So our selection is purely based on that nobody should fail in our study. We just don't, with the test, we want to avoid people who misjudge themselves.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no, as I said, 30,000 open positions, computer scientists are very sought after. It's perfect place to go into entrepreneurial spirit is the university. No, please come and choose the opportunity. You're more than welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And if we happen to have a lot of applicants and students, will organize more exercise group to keep the close relation to our students and the personal support. So don't worry about this.
No, yeah, exactly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Most of the lectures are not recorded. Yes, actually, we leave this decision to the professors. But indeed, a lot of the professors have a teaching style which is very group-oriented. So for myself, I have an inverse classroom approach in data science, which of course lives heavily on people being in the class. Hence, yeah, we don't have so many recordings. I'm sorry for that. But Andreas, you might know more about the topic.
No, it's true. I mean, most faculty members, they really appreciate the close exchange also with the students. Also, if you work on programming code, etc., in the exercise groups, it's almost impossible to do this online because the TAs, they go through the rows, they take a look at what people are doing on their computers and discuss examples. It's really difficult to have online lectures, I think, in computer science. Yeah, and also the credo of the university says after Corona, it's a university where we meet in presence in general.
Okay. So last opportunity to ask direct questions. Otherwise, as mentioned before, you're very warm welcome to contact us via email, via phone, or show up here on location. There's another question.
One
Since
more.
last-
Sorry.
No.
Since the program is in English, do you require any proof of like
No.
language
No,
skills?
no. I mean, you have Wirtschaftsinformatik. English is anyway the lingua franca of computer science. We assume that, and so far it worked very well.
That's
Okay.
right. On master level, you usually have the policy that students are expected to judge about their knowledge of the teaching language themselves.
Yeah.
You don't have to provide any certificate of any kind.
Okay.
I mean, our professors are from different countries. I myself, I'm German, but we have professors from Italy. We have one professor from Greek. We have Austrian professors. So yeah, but most of them are also able to talk to you in German if needed.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
All right. Thank you for your really interesting questions.
It was a pleasure having you. Take care and hopefully see you again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.